Hello, hello, hello. This is Misty Magdalena Grace with the new and improved version of Healthy and Wealthy and Wise, where we talk about spirituality, psychedelics, plant medicine, microdosing, and really that journey within to finding your best innate wisdom, to your best health, your best wealth through all sorts of inner child healing, trauma release, grief recovery, overcoming addictions, and working with the mind, the body, and spirit. So go ahead, leave a review, subscribe, download. We look forward to your feedback. Thanks for tuning in today. Hello, everybody. Welcome back. It is Suicide Awareness Month. And as you guys know, that's a passion of mine. This is my 4th year in a row talking about this sensitive topic. Last guest, Elaine, Lindsay, and I, we started to talk about the normalization of this conversation. And today we have a very special guest. She has been here before, and I love bringing back the best of the people that I consider light workers, that are out there, spiritual warriors on the front lines, both internally cleaning up and doing their own thing to help themselves heal, but they're also here to help you, me, as we heal as a collective heading into this 5D ascension. So Alisa, I'm going to bring you on. Super excited to have you back to the stage.
Yay!
Yay. It's been a minute. And I introduced you as Lightworker. For those of you who don't know, I met Alisa actually through her amazing cousin, right? Monica.
Aunt. She's my aunt.
Aunt! Oh my gosh. Wow.
Yep.
And so we were connected amidst this whole pandemic world. And
it was, wasn't it?
Yeah. And Alisa helped me with her medical intuitive gifts that came online thanks to this ascension, her own spiritual awakening. So we are going to talk about more about like suicide awareness and how to get through some of the crazy energies that are coming in hot right now. But I first would like you to tell a little bit about your story and how you got here.
Yeah. So it was 2017, 2018, and it was the dissolution of my marriage to an amazing man, and sort of lost my identity through that, and then was diagnosed with 3 autoimmune disorders in the same year, and really just couldn't get out of my bed. Like, was just so tired and so fatigued and in pain, just this pain. And I didn't really know about ascension symptoms at that point, but I was taking all of these drugs. I was doing injections for ankylosing spondylitis, which was one of my diagnoses, and and really just wanted to die. Was like, how am I going to keep going like this? And didn't want to be in my house, didn't want to be necessarily even a mother anymore. Like, there was so many pieces that was like, I don't fit with this identity. I don't know who Alisa is anymore, and I don't know that I ever had. So I lost my health insurance, and I was then forced to energetically heal my 3 autoimmune diagnoses and my chronic depression and all of that that came with that. And that was through a lot of deep trauma healing, shadow work, energy work. I went through a huge purge from all the medications that I was on, and then was able to see how the pharmaceutical companies are taking advantage of people and their pain, and was awoken to this whole other thing of like, what will help us, what will heal us. And through that, my gifts came online. I was able to start helping other people heal their bodies as well, which was kind of cool. Like, I didn't think that was going to be one of the things, but it showed up as kind of like the gift, the reward from Saturn. And since then, I've really helped other people awaken with their kundalini, with their awakening experience, and have continued to do my own work and sit here as a beacon of light for others to find freedom in their bodies, that we can be in our bodies and feel freedom as souls too. So, and that really ties in with that suicide stuff, is like, I don't want to be here anymore in this body. So, I'm really just very excited to be here with you to discuss that and to you know, shed a different perspective from a spiritual stance that I've seen throughout my own experience.
Yeah, because you've been one of I call you part of my SOS bat phone team, because I worked with you last year, I worked with you this year, and discovering like I'm losing my fucking mind, pardon my French. And because my mom was a schizophrenic her whole adult life and tried to kill herself many, many times, always in the back of my mind, like, oh my God, am I going crazy? Like literally, will I be in a straitjacket? I've relived some of her trauma through my shadow work with plant medicine, and it's
Yeah.
a lot because our bodies have kept the score for millennium.
Yes.
Past life cleansing and clearing of being burned at the stake and like claustrophobic, not breathing and reliving that experience. So how does someone get through that and stay alive in these times, you know?
Yeah, it's interesting you say that, because my grandmother too died in a hospital. She died of tuberculosis, but I believe she had amazing psychic gifts and was just put there, you know, as like, you're too sensitive and whatever you're doing, you know, and here are people screaming like, no, I can see through these dimensions. I can see other things that are happening here. And it's not just 3D. And they were so ahead of our time and I know that because I was there too, right? Like we can feel the persecution of that witch's wound. So the biggest thing that I believe that human beings do is try to escape every moment. I don't want to feel this. I don't want to do this. I don't want to see that. I don't want to know the truth. So basically what happens is when we're in that constant place of escape and trying to get out of here, I need to get out of here. Like one of my things is I got to move. Like I got to move to another country. And rightfully so right now, but everything's like, no, you actually have to stay and be part of this, you know? And so I believe that when I am in that place, and I want to openly say that I have those thoughts of like, I don't want to be here anymore and do this. This is too scary. This feels too heavy. People are too angry. They're too scared. It feels very like, it doesn't feel freeing, because as souls, we're used to floating and we're used to being able to, you know, jump off and go there and flit over there. You know, as souls, we're fluid, but in these bodies, it's like, ugh, it feels so dense and just gravity and ugh, right? Yeah. And so when I'm in that place of like, I need to get out of my body, or I need to get out of my mind, or I need to get out of I really just sit in it. And I use tapping. You know that I'm an EFT tapper. I believe it. It has helped me move the energy the fastest. I mean, havening does it too. Somatic dancing helps a ton. But there's something about tapping where it like keeps me present as I can feel my body and I'm tapping on it. And I'm like, I don't want to be here anymore. This feels too heavy. I'm too heavy. And I literally just sit in that energy. And then it slowly, it'll just release. It's like, it's kind of like this expansion happens. And it's like, oh, I guess I'm going to go make myself a salad, you know, and it kind of just, it moves. And I think with people, you know, and I'm not saying all people, but they get stuck in that judgment of like, I'm feeling like I want to kill myself, so there's something wrong with me. When actually we want to escape as human beings. It's a natural thing for us to want to get the hell out of here.
Yeah.
And if we can accept it and love that part of ourselves, we can move it faster. If we show compassion to that dark side of ourselves, it goes, I don't want to do this. I want to give up. I don't want to be here anymore. And I say this from knowing several very close friends, an ex-boyfriend, a family member that have all killed themselves within the past 5 years, traumatically, you know, just get me out of here, you know, that type of suicide. And I think it's that place of just like, there's something wrong with me that I think these thoughts, so I must do something about it.
Oh, yeah. And it's extreme. I had a murder suicide this year, a friend who killed another friend and killed himself because he obviously was probably feeling the horror of what he just did.
Right.
So it's a thing to be aware of. And I've had the same thing. I've wanted to die so many times. And you and I have helped mutual clients. I've helped so many
Mhm.
clients who are waking up to their truth. I know I want to talk about the kundalini in a second, but waking up to this new world that is being birthed, that maybe for those who are tuning in, who are like, new world, what are you talking about? If we throw out the words 5D, can you explain in your own words what's happening in the planet right now?
Yeah, absolutely. So we're coming into this different consciousness. Like it's just this higher level of awareness, this higher level of love, where we see each other as one, where we see each other as like, oh, I know that place because that's in me, or that's something I'm healing from, or that was in my mother. And it's more of just this Christ consciousness of compassion, of like seeing each other as ourselves rather than trying to separate, trying to divide man, woman, black, white, gay, straight, like whatever it is. It's this, I'm over here on this, in this box, and you're over there in that box, when really we're all souls showed up. We all showed up in this avatar exactly as we are. And we are like part of all the same energy field. Like we're all in the same energy, as people. So what I think of when I think of 5D is that we're going to flow more, and we're going to be in love more, and we're going to have less fear about what's going to happen to us, because we don't get out of this alive, right? I mean, we know that, like we're all going to die. But at the same time, is there a place in this moment where we can be present with ourselves and with the darkness that's going on, and give it the pink love, give it the golden white light, and in this moment go, you know what? I don't have all the money, I don't have all the things, but in this moment, am I okay? And in that, you feel like this oneness, you feel like this peace and contentness. And then what I try to do is I expand it out to the room, to the city, to the state, to the world. And I now am vibrating at this oneness vibration, whereas someone next to me might be in that separateness, and I believe my energy is affecting them. And someone actually did don't quote me on who, I don't know who it is, but I read this once, where somebody who is sitting in that high vibration of oneness is affecting the 90,000 people around them.
Well, it's kind of like what they said about Jesus and some of the great teachers who walked the earth before they ascended, right? They were holding, my Kundalini yoga instructor told me this at one point, that they're holding space for like, I don't know, millions of people because of who they are. And I like to add to what you said about we're discovering or remembering, recognizing that we are both fully human and fully divine.
Right.
Because we've been so separate. This Piscean age and even the Aries age before it was all about war and power and control and conversion. And your religion's not good enough, so I'm either going to kill you or force you to convert, or starve you, which is going to kill you. And so I think we're shifting things around and coming back to love. Would you agree?
Yeah, and absolutely. And the Piscean is about illusion. So we've literally lied to ourselves about who we actually are. Like it's just this complete wool over our eyes. Like, oh, we're human beings. No, we're spiritual beings, and we're in this vessel for like a second. Like Alisa's gonna, but my energy gets to go someplace else after this. My energy goes and flows into a different, dimension, a different consciousness after this. And so, I think about, just back to that, the suicide that people often worry about, people that kill themselves, because what's going to happen to their soul.
Yeah, well, the church did a number on that. So,
yeah.
The fear of hell and fire
right.
and brimstone and all of that.
And my belief is that they go back into a different consciousness, and they do something else, that there is no like fiery gates of hell.
Well, I might even throw out there, because I've had 12 friends commit suicide, and 2 of them were the murder suicide. So technically 1, but 2 friends were gone in that moment. Right. And so I've seen a lot of them, you know, in the other planes, and they would say, you know, this was actually part of my karmic contract. Like I committed that sacrifice to teach a lesson, you know, for us who are still alive to really come back to compassion and not the judgment, and like really have that empathy and understand their journey a little bit. And how can I be a better person? Because I'm still here.
Yes.
And it's helped me want to stay alive, because when I understand their sacrifice, I'm like, okay, I'm here to tell their story. Hence why I do this every September. I'm here to bring awareness to what's happening right now. Because you and I both, you know, we've been in triage mode for the past couple of years. I want to give a shout out to my friend Maria, because she's also the Kundalini goddess. And
hi, Maria. Nice to see you. Oh, we don't get out alive. Yeah, we that's not fun.
Right?
Might as well play.
So anyway, I just want to share a little bit more of my own perspective about how there's so many lessons and so many teachers.
Yeah.
We've got to see the love and compassion, to your point, and come back to that equality, to really say, actually, thank you for the lessons that you guys taught us. You know, I'm just going to say it. Thank you, you know, Donald Trump, or thank you, Adolf Hitler, or thank you to the darkness that came in and is causing, you know, some challenges possibly for people. And if we don't come into love and do the trauma healing and all the inner child work that you were talking about, then we're going to stay angry. We're going to stay judgmental. We're going to stay us versus them. So we're kind of bouncing around a little bit.
No, here. I love it but if you think about it, if you're sitting in judgment about Donald Trump or somebody that just committed suicide or whatever it is that you're judging right now, you're holding the frequency of division. Like you're sitting in that. And I'm not saying like get rid of it right away, but to just honor it and go, oh, I'm judging Donald Trump right now. I think I know what should happen. I think I should be the one that decides how everyone acts and what they should do. And it's like when you realize that you're not really in power, or you're not really God, there's this freeing thing to that. To going, oh, thank God I don't have to control. I can sit here and just witness this whole play, this whole thing happen.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you can send love out rather than judgment. And it's like that frequency I was just talking about. If you're sitting in that, then you're helping the 90,000 people around you. And it's funny because I was just working with my son. I said to you earlier that I've been doing a lot with my son with his trauma work and stuff. And you know, I was teaching like this anger you're feeling, that you sit in that. I can't feel it. You're sitting in it. Like you think your anger is going to help me or it's going to make me change, but all it's doing is breaking down your body and making you sick. So don't you want to sit and release that through punching a bag or, you know, pushing, you know, a punching bag or whatever it is, you know, move the anger so you can come back to this place of peace and contentment so you don't have to suffer anymore.
Yeah. And like, to your point, I just want to reframe or restate the importance of what she's saying, guys. And then maybe we can move into some additional tips that you have. If someone's feeling the feels, the judgment, the anger, the fear, for me, the top three have been fear, shame, and guilt.
Yeah. They're the killers.
They're like,
yeah. You know, they'll just throw you down in the bed, like go to bed.
peeling the layers. And I used to drink and work and social media, you know, just keep myself busy. Those were my top ways to suppress and avoid the feelings. And so how do I say this? The importance is to not only sit with it, but have the tools. Because if you don't, then that's where I think suicide can, and even homicide. I mean, why do you think these school shootings or these things happen? Is because the person just imploded because they had so much anger, so much judgment, so much separation, so much trauma that they didn't know what to do. So, you know, that's I guess the lesson in that. So I love breath work and meditation and Kundalini yoga. Those are like my top three. You said tapping.
Somatic dance.
Somatic dance.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And I love journaling too. I love writing things. I'm a writer. Just it feels good to just put things out and then burn them, you know, that kind of thing.
Awesome.
But you know, I grew up in the society that I think everyone did, where like I was very sensitive as a child. I would cry when somebody was mean to me, or if they bullied me, or if, you know, and it happened all the time because people saw that I had a reaction, right? And
Right.
immediately I was told that I wasn't allowed to feel sadness or fear or, you know, scared or anger or anything. It was very early, 3-4 years old. I wasn't allowed to feel my feelings.
Yeah,
So
me
these
too.
people that are imploding, you know, that are killing or killing themselves, they haven't been taught how to, you know, use their emotions. They haven't been taught how to express them. They're scared of their own emotions. They feel weird. They are uncomfortable. When I feel anger in my body, I'm like, ew, you know, like get this out, because it's uncomfortable. It's like, it doesn't feel good. It's not pretty and sweet, you know, and that's what we were taught is you got to be a good girl, or you got to, you know, don't rock the boat, and all this stuff, all these sayings that have come up in the past couple of years for me, where I'm just like, ew, you know, sometimes you just need to go to bed because you're sad.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just need to go to bed because you're scared. Go do it. Go be in it. And allowing yourself, I think that's the biggest one. That tool I use is the allowance. Like, I'm going to allow this emotion to be here as long as it needs to be here, and it will go when it's time to go.
Yeah. And that was my hardest thing, because my fight or flight was, those are my trauma responses or triggers: fight or flight, or even fawn, you know, the people pleasing, doing
I have that too.
doing for everyone else and leaving myself literally almost dead last. That codependency thing, that was a huge one for me this year in my marriage and business partnerships. And as we go into the age of Aquarius too, I see a lot of people breaking up, business partnerships dissolving, companies dissolving, marriages dissolving, relationships dissolving. So I just want to say that, because sometimes people will break up and then they'll kill themselves, right?
Yeah.
And they think it's all my fault, the guilt, the shame. And we just want to also put out there that breaking up is actually probably a good sign. Or, you know, I always remember you saying, if you're going crazy, that's a good sign. So I'm like, sometimes I always feel like I was cracking up, because I'm like, I feel like I'm going mad right now.
And I'm like, good, go mad. Yeah, because it's sort of like on the other side of that madness is where the breakthrough is.
Yeah. Yeah. So
like if you just allow yourself to lose your mind, to go a little crazy, to just, and I'm not saying to see, I believe like when I feel in that space, I don't go put it on another person. That is creating karma.
Yeah.
Like I don't go crazy on my kids. I used to. I don't go crazy on my boss. I used to. I don't go crazy on my partner. I used to. But I hold that energy within me and I go, okay, what's this showing me? And I move it within myself. And I'll even say, like, I need a minute, or I'm going to go to the bathroom, or I'm going to go sit in my car, you know, or I'm going to go lay in bed and I don't want to, you know, and it's like the cocoon time where you really go in and do that work, not creating more karma onto them, traumatizing others with your trauma. Like not trauma dumping or hurt people, that saying, but more of I'm recognizing that I'm in this. And when you move that, you can create this expansion within yourself. It's like, okay, I'm allowing myself to be human right now as I go crazy. Going crazy is a human experience.
Yes.
That has been bad.
Yeah. Yeah, you're going to get in a straitjacket or sent to the loony bin or diagnosed with multiple cocktails of medications that aren't going to help. In fact, they might make it worse. Most of my friends who committed suicide, and some of them were like family, so I knew how many medications they were on, and it was almost always synchronistic. After a medication change, boom.
I know.
That's when they died.
I remember the transitions off medications and onto others. It was like torture. That's what it felt like, mental and physical torture. And we just do it all willy-nilly with people. Oh, that's not working. Okay, let's try this one. Like what?
Yeah. Yep.
And, you know, going crazy, when you go crazy, you start to question a lot of things. You start to question your own reality. You start to question the system that we live in. We start to question why we even have money, why people work for a certain company, and that's what they don't want you doing when they say, you're going crazy. It's to keep you small so that you don't think for yourself and start to question what's really going on.
Which is as heavy. I remember my first spiritual awakening in 2007, 2008. It's funny because I'm moving right now, which I know is part of my karma. In past lives, I was a Rolling Stone. Same thing with my husband. So as I'm moving, I'm finding I'm unearthing these things that I wrote in 2006. And just today I found it, probably because
we were so cool.
And I'm looking back because I was a really, really strong religious person when I wrote this. And I'm like going, whoa, I was really in the system. I was really in it.
Me too.
Deep. And then the next year, that was when I had my first suicidal thoughts, is when I realized it was, for me, a lie and a game and just a bunch of masked and patriarchal rules and systems to keep people in a box and to control. And I was lost for 14 years. And that's what led me to become addicted to suppressing and to looking outside myself for the answers. So I just want to reiterate that, because as I became awoke, I did feel like, oh, why am I here? I'm going to die. This is all bullshit. But then you got to nurture yourself. You got to allow yourself to feel and heal, which I didn't do at that time. That's right. The journey I chose, probably to be able to be having this conversation today, to learn from that deep, dark, suppressed period, the dark ages of me, to come out on the other side to say, hey, I can do it. You can do it. It's just, you got to have support. So I guess I'd like to ask, how can people find you? Do you have any tools or resources that you want to share inside of this podcast today?
Yeah, absolutely. So I read energy. I work with people to help them move the energy in their body so that they don't deal with chronic pain, especially the ascension symptoms. People are coming to me with a lot more ascension symptoms lately. Back pain, leg pain, panic attacks, all that stuff. And I feel like I've been through every single one, and more. So I have a website, alisadubay.com. I have a Lotus session that's on there that it's just the first session. It's an hour and a half. People can book that on my website directly. Or if they, I have a couple of other little quick reads that are 20 minutes over, a memo. I think I did that one for you maybe at the beginning. I don't remember, but that one's the rose quartz. That one's really fun and popular and quick, and it kind of gets your feet wet with me so that, it's not just this intense thing where you're sitting in front of me and you're like, I don't know what you're going to tell me. You get to kind of play it and play it back. So people like that one too. And then of course I have email, alisa@alisadubay.com. If people just want to ask me a question, I am a guiding light. I am here to help people awaken to their own higher consciousness and to start living in freedom and in joy rather than whatever it is we've been doing here, whatever that mucky crap has been.
Yeah. And I wanted to mention too, the whole idea that the shadow and the light, because we talked about shadow work, and again, essentially guys, the trauma, the shadow work, it's more or less one and the same. Wouldn't you say that?
Oh, yeah.
Where you're putting a light, like you said, guiding light. I love that. I did watch that soap opera for a really long time.
Me too.
But by putting a light on the shadow, which a lot of times is in those lower chakras, right? And to be able to pull out and look at it and love it. Accept it, because it's all divine, right?
Well, and you've been using it to protect yourself. It's been one of your protection shields. So it's been a beautiful thing. I remember one person once told me, they're like, you did all this drinking for so long to protect yourself to get to this place now. And I was like, I did. And she's like, yes, you drank the exact amount you were supposed to drink for as long as you were supposed to drink so that you could wake up. And I was like, it was like this freeing moment. I was like, oh my God, thank you. Because it like, there's a lot of shame around drinking or around getting really wasted or blacking out. And I did that a lot just to get out of here because it was so uncomfortable. So, I mean, it's profound when you do this work because you end up really loving yourself. It's a love I have never felt. And it's beautiful, and it just brings me so much gratitude and presence to be able to sit and just be in love with me today.
I love that.
That's what I want other people to have, that feeling. And that's why I do what I do. I know that's what you're doing too, so that we can feel love. You know, we can work from a place of love and create from a place of love. And what would that earth look like? That's the new earth. It's not the scary woo-woo place. It's a place created from love. That's it.
And collaboration instead of competition. And
oh yeah,
how can we come together and go back to those tribal roots of, you know, drinking mead by the fire, drumming and throat singing. And I've just had so much fun reconnecting.
I can't wait to do that with you. It's going to be so fun.
Yay. Well, soon, because my new house, there's a lot.
I know. I can't wait. I can't wait to see it.
To do that. So I'm so grateful for you. I want to play a sponsor ad. This is my first time ever doing this, so I'm always transparent because I'm learning so much from, you know, not being ashamed of it not looking a certain way or what have you. So I got one more question for you, Alisa, before you go. So don't go anywhere. I'll play my sponsor's ad, and we'll come right back.
Okay.
Healthy and Wealthy and Wise is proudly sponsored by the Soul Vine, your number one go-to source for ayahuasca microdosing. This ayahuasca is legal. It is the Cappy vine. There is no DMT extract or molecule as a part of it, and it can and will transform your life from the inside out. Supporting the Shipibo tribe from South America, this is my go-to source for healing. Learn more at microdosingforhealth.com.
Yay!
Yay, that was beautiful. Like, that was so nice.
Yeah.
I wrote down the thing. I'm like, okay, good job, good plug.
See, we can celebrate each other as if we're just having a phone call, and I don't have any shame or judgment of my perfectionistic double Virgo self. You know, used to be like, wait a minute, I got to have everything perfect. So I share that with you guys to understand that I've overcome a lot of my own demons, because that judging of myself, that inner critic of having to be perfect and be the good girl, like you said earlier, was so much why I was drinking so much.
Oh yeah,
all the time, because it was hard to live.
Never reached that bar.
No,
reach that place.
Yeah. And I just want to give a shout out too, because Alisa, with her gifts and with what I'm doing specifically with microdosing for health, is my new soft launch this month. But because of my move, I'm really launching big time next month to help you guys get through the seasonal affective disorder that can be the holidays. Oh my gosh. Hello, holidays. I was so depressed for several years. And then a lot of people turn to alcohol, sugar between Halloween and Valentine's Day. A lot of people gain weight, and a lot of that is to suppress, to cope. And I do expect, I don't know what you see, Alisa, I kind of have a feeling that this is going to be one of the hardest seasons coming up, because there's so many people struggling with these symptoms and not aware of them, that we don't want you to commit suicide. We don't want you to feel like you're alone. We don't want you to feel like you've got to continuously suppress. We want you to come to us and talk about this stuff, guys. So please just hear our hearts today, if you're catching this live or on the replay, because we want you to go within and release and heal and do all the things that we talked about today, so you can manifest your best life. And we're here for you. So Alisa, last question. I don't know if you remember, I always ask every guest this question, but now with where you're at today, when you hear the phrase healthy and wealthy and wise, what comes up for you?
Vibration. It's like the frequency. Healthy, wealthy, wise. It's all this it's this feminine, intuitive space of just knowing everything's going to be okay. And from that, you make different choices about what you put in your body, or what kind of friends you have, or what jobs you want to take, or it really is a different place of like, I'm always going to be taken care of, so I get to choose.
Wow, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
Especially in a society that
very different than what we're taught.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
I'm so grateful.
I'm so happy to be here with you today. Thank you.
Yay. And without a doubt, guys, if you're catching this live or on the replay or on iTunes later, on YouTube, wherever, hit the share button. September, we still have like almost 10 days left. Sharing is caring. This is a huge passion of mine to help build the awareness, normalize the conversation, defeat the stigma. And you just never know, by sharing today's message, you may save a life. And I just want to give a shout out to my sister-in-law, Corinne. Thank you so much,
hi, Corinne,
for being here today. I know she's lost someone to suicide, so it means a lot that you were here today. So thank you, guys. Share, and we'll see you next time. I have a beautiful guest on Monday, my friend and client, Kat Storing. We're going to actually talk about the religion wound and how we have been able to work through that, which has been a huge part of my own suicide awareness journey. We'll just leave it at that. So thanks, guys. Have a beautiful, beautiful day, beautiful weekend.
Thanks, Misty. Love you.
Love you too. Bye.
Thank you so much for tuning in. Please subscribe, download, leave a 5-star rating or review, and also please refer this to a friend you know who may benefit from this inspirational message. We hope to see you again. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel or join my Facebook community. And if you are looking to manifest your best health, your best wealth by trusting your best wisdom within, please go to my website, www.microdosingforhealth.com. Again, www.microdosingforhealth.com, to quiet your mind, get into your heart, heal your body, and manifest your best health and your best wealth.